The Bengals offensive line? I'm gonna sack him all day, every day. Every single day, I'm gonna be really nice to him. And I'm not going to hurt him that bad. There you go. You're learning your lesson, Grady. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. So we have yet another exciting game preview for the Atlanta Falcons. And I just wanted to mention that finally these game previews on Rise Up Rundown feel fun. Like, I feel like in years past, anytime there was a game preview, deep down inside you were always like, I don't think the Falcons are going to win. But just fingers crossed, I guess let's just hope we win. This year, it feels like anytime we talk about any upcoming matchup, it's like, okay, I think we actually have a chance to win this game. And it therefore just makes these game previews, I feel, a lot more fun. So I just wanted to point that out here. And I especially wanted to point that out because our next opponent is on the road versus the Super Bowl runner-ups, the Cincinnati Bengals. And in the beginning of the year, before the season even started, obviously everyone thought that there was just no chance for this Falcons team and the Bengals were going to smoke us. But, you know, the Bengals are still favored to win, but I don't know. I don't think anyone's seriously sitting here saying the Falcons can't win. And there's reasons why the Bengals could win, and there's reasons why the Falcons could win, and we'll go over what all to watch out for and whatnot starting right now. So we're going to start it off with key additions and losses for both teams, and I always try to keep this very recent. I don't try to do, the Bengals got Alex Kappa. It's like, yeah, no, we all know that. What about recently? Did the Bengals get this key injury entering this game that is going to help us, or is there a star player coming back from an injury, or I don't know, just something recent? And I'll be honest with you, I could not find literally anything significant for the Bengals that's happening this week. So all I did was put Hayden Hurst is maybe going to have a revenge game. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This Bengals team has been relatively healthy is what I meant to say. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, to be honest with you. But for the Falcons, it's a bit of a different story. Casey Hayward has actually been put on the IR. AJ Terrell is questionable. I think he'll play, but still questionable. And then I think Isaiah Oliver is coming back. So Isaiah Oliver looked good in the last game. So could he replace Casey Hayward, who also was having a good season? Hopefully. But both AJ Terrell, if he plays, and Casey Hayward have a pretty big test. And that actually is a good way to start off what to watch out for from the Cincinnati Bengals. And when it comes to the Bengals, it's pretty simple. Everyone knows Jamar Chase and, Joe Burrow and his receivers are something to watch out for. It's literally the entire team virtually. Joe Burrow is having himself yet another good year. Maybe not as good as it was last year, but still a very good year, and had an awesome comeback win versus the Saints. So that was fun to see. But Joe Burrow at the moment is having 1,616 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And then Jamar Chase is still killing it. 39 receptions, 475 yards, 4 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 26 receptions, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Tyler Boyd, 21 receptions, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And it's not even just these receivers, but Joe Mixon is a running back that can run the ball and catch, and he is awesome at it, and he's having himself yet another great season. And also, considering the Falcons' secondary situation is a bit questionable, Isaiah Oliver and AJ Terrell did still have an injury last game. They should play, but that's still something to worth note here is that they did have an injury. And Casey Hayward is out. So that's going to be a little scary for us. But hopefully AJ Terrell plays and is healthy. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of the commenter that said this, but I didn't even think about this. I'll put it here just so he gets credit, or she. This person said, this is a revenge game for AJ Terrell and Jamar Chase and what happened in the national championship game. And I'm like, oh yeah, I honestly totally forgot. And I just didn't think about that. This could be a pretty big game for AJ Terrell, but he's also got to stay healthy. So the other thing to watch out for is honestly this Bengals secondary. They actually have a pretty good secondary, especially noting that they are playing a team. Even though Mariota played well against the number one defense last week, we still have to not just forget how he played the rest of the season, and that has just not been very good. But it's not just that. The Bengals apparently have a 72.7 rate and a 6.1 YPI, and then 56.6% completion rate. I was just struggling to say all of that and read it at the same time. But anyway, and then... Well, yeah, like their secondary has just been very good, and that's something to watch out for sure. So this Bengals team is definitely not a sleeper team, and also we're on the road. I don't know how great the Bengals' home field advantage is, but they're coming off a Super Bowl year, so it's probably pretty good. But what are some possible breakouts for the Falcons? Okay, so I was hesitant to put this one here, but I put the pass rush. Even though the Falcons' pass rush stinks, like it's been terrible, Grady Jarrett, he's having an awesome year. He's probably having his best year yet. Arnold Ebiketie and Lorenzo Carter have stepped up, but there's still not really a pass rush going on, right? However, the Bengals' offensive line is pretty easily the biggest weakness on this team, as I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they've taken up 22 sacks. So, if that's correct, Joe Burrow has been sacked 22 times this year, and last week versus the Saints, he had 3 sacks taken and 6 QB hits. Ouch. So, you gotta take advantage of that, right? Hopefully. And then the other thing that could break out, obviously, is the run game. Everyone knows this Falcons run game is just really good. We're like a run-heavy team, and I just think, to be honest with you, with Arthur Smith and these running backs, Caleb Huntley has looked awesome. Tyler Algiers makes some plays. And if Cordero Patterson could ever come back, that would be huge. And Marcus Mariota with his legs, I just don't really see how this running game is going to slow down. And also noting the Bengals' run defense has just not been very good. Noticeably, against Dallas, they let up 107 yards. Against Baltimore, 155 yards. Granted, it's hard to stop Lamar Jackson, but still... And then against New Orleans last week, 228 yards. So, not a very good run defense. And I believe they're letting up 4 yards per carry or something. 4.7 yards, nearly 5. So, not a good run defense. But what are some keys to victory? So, it's kind of like the 49ers last week. Obviously, you got to outplay them and outrun them because this is a much better roster than us. But... I mean, we proved it last week that just because you have a better roster doesn't mean you can outplay us. So that's obviously one thing. Falcons got to outplay them, especially on the passing game. Now, it's not like the 49ers to where it's like, I don't think the Falcons are going to win to the Niners only by running, and if they don't pass well, there's no chance. It's kind of, I guess they kind of proved that wrong in a way because Marcus Mariota did do well. But anyway, the point is, I think you maybe can still win the game by running it most of the time, but I still would try and get the passing game going, is all I'm trying to say. And then you have to lock down Burrow and his receivers. Self-explanatory. If not, then the Bengals are going to win, honestly. And then you got to bring in blitz and pressure Burrow because that is the biggest weakness on the Bengals. And if you don't take advantage of that, that's just... come on, like that's just a gift just to be against this Bengals offensive line that just has been terrible. So we got to take advantage of that. It's a big game, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I'll see you guys this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support. And as always, rise up.